We've done an objectives guide on the Eredivisie squad foundations. If you get them in the squad, you're looking for another Eredivisie man to use. You've got a squad foundations Eredivisie player, single player, Pedro. And he doesn't look too shabby. If we have a look at his in-games, how can I do that? Hold on, let me solve this. There we go. 4-star, 4-star, high and medium, very good agility. Honestly, he looks good. He looks good. Now, if you guys are new to the Objective Guide series, what we do, all new objectives EA release, we go by step, give you guys my tips and tricks with some in-game examples if necessary, along with a squad builder that you can go ahead and copy. If you guys do enjoy it, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And if you are left with any unanswered questions, make sure to let me know down below. Let's get into it. First of all, you've got win 8 matches in a live FUT Friendly Managerial Masterpiece using a starting 11 of Eredivisie players, which we'll go ahead and have a look at the Managerial Masterpiece game mode shortly. Score 20 goals using Eredivisie players in the live FUT Friendly Managerial Masterpiece. Assist 10 goals using Eredivisie players. Do I have to say it in the live FUT Friendly Managerial? I don't have to say that after every one, let's be real. Score a finesse goal using Eredivisie players in 4 separate matches. And if you do want to know how to score a finesse goal, just in case you don't, I know most of you will, but if you're maybe new to the game, here's an example. To score a finesse shot, all you have to do is press down on the right bumper plus shoot. So R1 plus circle if you are on PlayStation, RB plus B if you are on Xbox. Very self-explanatory. Obviously, whilst pressing this, you are going to want to aim in the direction you want to shoot the ball. And exact same with a through ball, assist using a through ball using Eredivisie players. Here is also an example. To perform a through ball assist, all you have to do is press triangle on the PlayStation. If you are on Xbox, then it would be Y, and all you gotta do is do the rest with the person you pass to and hope you score. So if we go ahead and take a look at the Managerial Masterpiece game mode, you go on over to the Play tab, go on over to the Friendlies, go on to Play Online, and we will see the Managerial Masterpiece squad with all of the requirements there. It should be one of the first ones. There it is, just over here. As you can see, the requirements: team overall rating, maximum 80, 88 and higher overall players, at most 1 in your starting 11, and bronze players exactly 0 in your starting 11. The reason I've gone for bronze players exactly 0 when you're starting 11 is to avoid you having like a full 83 rated team and just having a bronze right back or bronze left back to kind of stat pad the rating a little bit, if you will, and lone players max 1. I'm going to go ahead and build up a squad builder for you guys to use. So yeah, I'll see you boys when we get to it. I don't know why I did that to the camera. I've never done that before. So as you can see with the requirements down there, we have ticked off every single requirement. Now a little bit of a warning, it does say in your starting 11 for 88 and higher overall players, max 1 in your starting 11, bronze players exactly 0, lone players maximum 1. Now EA actually messed up and they actually mean your whole squad. And I did discover this because look, if I go ahead and put a bronze player on the bench for example, it is not going to let me go into the game. So what they meant to say, instead of your starting 11, as you can see, there's no bronze player in the starting 11. He's on the bench, which is not the starting 11, right? So big old Barry over here, he's not going to let me play a game. So just be careful with that. If you know, it's a bit of a mistake for you guys, or if it's not working for you guys, that is the reason why, okay? It's because EA do not mean starting 11, they mean the whole squad, and they did mess up. They might have changed it by the time you're watching. As for the squad, we've gone with a 4-3-3 second variation. We're just going to flick through these players. Gakpo at left wing. I'm probably going to butcher half his names, so I'm not even going to try and pronounce them, but we'll go through them. You can pause the video if you want to use them and go ham. If you do complete the squad foundations as well, and you want to use those players, then that will be absolutely perfect. Just depends which one you complete first. Whether you complete the squad foundations or this player Pedro one that we're doing now, then that's completely up to you. Now the bench is very important, lads. Now if you have got a lone Mbappe, 100% get him on the bench. If you guys do not have a lone Mbappe, you should. I'll just say you should, because they're giving a lone Mbappe out for free via Moments. So if you go into Moments and you go into the store, there should be a free lone Mbappe. I think it's only for like 1 game, but that's enough because friendlies do not count towards the loan. So make sure if you've still got your lone Mbappe on you and you've not used him in rivals or champs yet, then make sure to get Mbappe on your bench and sub him on. Along with some other super subs, you can make up to 5 substitutions, so choose your 5 best attackers or midfielders. I've gone for Govu, I've gone for my Vinicius Jr., I've gone for my Ben Yedder, I've gone for my Depay. I wanted to go for my first owner, Neymar, a little bit of a flex there, but I cannot because we've already got Mbappe, and we're only allowed 188 or higher. Once again, EA messed up, and they meant the whole squad. Now, you guys are probably watching this, and you've probably filled your bench out, and you've gone, my rating is higher than 80 rated, Davis. These silver players on the bench are key. Because look, if I take them off the bench and put them to the reserves, the squad goes up to an 82. So make sure your final 2 spots, and assuming your other players, your other super subs are not too high rated, like once again, you can only have 1 player over 88 anyway, but let's say you've got 5 super subs and they're all like 87 plus, or 4 others that are 87 plus your 91 Mbappe. The rating might hit 81, which means you just have to narrow one of those super subs down, but make sure the 2 remaining positions, you cannot use bronze players, so the lowest rating possible you can use to get that rating down is your 65 rated silver players, so get them on the bench, alright lads? As you can see, it will let me go into a Managerial Masterpiece game mode, just to prove to you guys that it does work, and I've been disconnected from EA, but it does work, obviously, because or else it wouldn't have let me search, so that's just proving that it does work, and EA kind of made it a little bit more difficult than it should have been for me to prove. Round number 2, as you can see, it will let me search for a match with the team, alright? So, round number 2, thank you EA for making the first one difficult. Let's jump into the tips real quick, lads. Now, usually tip number 1 would be the bench and the super subs, but I've already gone through that. Make sure you get your super subs on the bench. You can pause it straight away, sub them on. I'd sub on my Mbappe at probably right wing and maybe my Govu at striker. Do not sub off too much players because you want to keep your Eredivisie players on the pitch to score goals and get assists. So maybe it's even better if you do get some midfielder super subs more so than your attackers, because you still want your Eredivisie attacking players that will offer you that source of goals, assists to get those objectives done, right? So tip number 1 is the bench, which we've already kind of gone over. So straight into tip number 2, lads, is going to be custom tactics, and here is a pre-recorded in-game example of how custom tactics work and how they will benefit you. Custom tactics, in my opinion, is very important because not much people use them in friendly game modes. Now, I'm not going to give you guys some certain custom tactics to use, but what I do really like this year is direct passing for balanced, and if you do want to edit your attacking and defensive ones as well, I do recommend fast build up for attacking and even press after possession loss if you want. Now, as for in-game as well, if you really do want to change formations, you could do that for your like attacking defensive. You could start as a 4-3-3 and change in-game to a 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, something like that, you know, because so much people in friendly game modes, they're going to make a new team, they're going to get the requirements, and they're just going to leave all their custom tactics on balanced. They're not going to change their in-game formation, they're not going to do player instructions. So if you do that yourself, it will give you a little bit of an advantage. And what you could do is you could copy your custom tactics for your main team, something that you're used to. If you do not run custom tactics on your main team, then there's plenty of videos on YouTube. I've even got some videos of my own for custom tactics on my own YouTube. That is a created playlist in my playlist section if you do want to check that out. Tip number 3, lads, is going to be chemistry styles. Once again, we've got another clip of how they work, but all of these guys are free out of free for chemistry, which means chemistry styles are going to be so effective. So make sure to get the chem styles on your players. Once again, here is an example of how chemistry styles work and how they will affect your players in a positive way. Chemistry styles, in my opinion, are so important, especially for the lower rated players, because it can make them perform a lot better in game. For example, this card right here, he is on 0 out of 3 chemistry points, which means I probably wouldn't worry about putting a chemistry style on him, because as you can see, he gets absolutely no boost whatsoever. Now, Ryan Kent, on the other hand, is on 1 out of 3 chemistry points, which I still think is not so much worth putting a chemistry style, because he only gets +1s on the board, and I think that's just a little bit of a waste. As for players that are 2 out of 3 chemistry points or more though, I do think that is where you're going to want to start getting some chemistry styles on them. For example, Ben Yedder is on 2 out of 3 and he's starting to get some +2s throughout the board. Therefore, I think all of your players that are at least 2 out of 3 chem points, it's worth getting a chemistry style on them. You can do so by going to apply consumable and going over to your chemistry style tab. There you will see all of the chemistry styles in your club. You've got attacking, midfielders, defending one as well. I would avoid using hunters though, because you don't really want to use that. It's a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit excessive for objectives. Now, this is a prime example of chemistry styles. Player from Valverde, who is on 3 out of 3 chemistry points, so the maximum points. As you can see, he's got an engine applied. With this engine attributes boost, he goes to 94 pace in game, roughly 89 or 90 passing. He gets a nice dribbling boost as well. So it just goes to show, give the chemistry styles on your players. I think all of your players that are on at least 2 chemistry points, and it will benefit them in game. And the fourth and final tip, probably the most important. This is indeed a game mode. You can do golden goal in. You guys do not know how golden goal works. Golden goal is an unspoken community rule and is very self-explanatory. Basically, whoever scores first, the other opponent will go ahead and back out. So if you go 1-0 down, you may as well back out, because there's no worse feeling than having to win the game. You get to the 70th minute and you go 1-0 down. You feel like you've just wasted so much time. Now, this was on stream, and as you can see, it was a game mode where we did need a win, and only 13 minutes into the game, which is like 2 IRL minutes, we go 1-0 up, my opponent quits. Now, we're going to speed this up so you guys know I'm not cutting it until, like, 5 games later, because that's just unrealistic. So I'm going to speed the whole process up again to the game after, and the exact same thing happens. We go 1-0 up and my opponent backs out. That's 2 wins that we got in the space of maybe 4 IRL minutes, compared to having to actually play the full games out. Usually would take like half an hour, 15 minutes a match. Obviously, if you do go 1-0 down as well, you will have to quit yourself, because then it just makes it much more effective. So make sure, lads, to do some golden goal. Because as you can see, you only need to win 8 matches. And if you can give it 20 goals, the one thing with the golden goal, right? So you'd want to give it 20 goals before you start doing golden goal. So you'd want to get as much goals as you can. Try, see if you get 13, 14. And one way around this, a bit of a bonus tip with this one, is you can offside trap your players. Maybe if you're on the same console, because I know there's crossplay now, if you're both on Xbox or PlayStation, pause it straight away, get your opponent's gamer tag and message him and say, do you want to let each other get 15 goals each or something? You can give him the win as well, alright? Because that doesn't matter. You can give him the win. I guess that would make it more tempting for him to say yes as well. And you can give it as score 20 goals if you try, go goal for goal a lot of times in one match. You can both get the score 20 goals, both get the assist 10 goals. You can get a score finesse goal. I mean, it will count towards one of the 4 anyway. And then you can assist using a through ball exactly as well. You can also count towards 1 out of a possible 4 you need to get done. So just like that, you'll have your 20 goals, you'll have all of your assists done, and then from there, for the remaining 8 games that you need to win, whilst trying to obviously get some finesse goals and some through ball assists, that is where you're going to want to be doing golden goal, and it should speed it up a little bit. An estimated time to complete this objective, I'm going to go ahead and say 90 minutes. Lads, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Hopefully this video did help you out. Remember your super subs, remember the bench for silver player to make sure that your squad is 80 rated and you can go into a game. Make sure to sub your super subs on if you are struggling as well, and make sure custom tactics, chemistry styles, message your opponent, see if he lets you get lots of goals and assists. Then from that point onwards, after you've got the score 20 goals, you can start doing golden goal from that point onwards. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out, lads.